Blessed soul, before you read even one more word, take a breath. A slow, deep, intentional breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let whatever tension you have been carrying today begin to soften. The angels have been waiting for this exact moment to reach you. You did not land here by accident. You were guided here, drawn to this message by something greater than curiosity, something deeper than habit. And what you are about to receive could shift something inside you that has been waiting to be shifted for a very long time. Something that has been quietly knocking on the door of your awareness, asking you to slow down and listen. Welcome. You are safe here. You are seen here. And you are so deeply, completely, unconditionally loved. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Beware of pirated copying channels and stay connected to the original source for true blessings. First of all, we thank Christy, one of our precious soul members, for her generous support through our Ko-Fi link. We are honored to include your name in our weekly Angel's Prayers, sending love, light, and blessings to you and your family. Now stop whatever you are doing. Put everything else aside, even if just for a little while. Because what the angels are about to show you today is not something you want to scroll past or half-read while your mind is somewhere else. There is something unfolding in your life right now. Something sacred, something real, something that has been in motion behind the scenes for longer than you may realize. And if you stay with this message all the way to the end, you will finally understand why your heart has been so restless lately. Why certain memories keep coming back when you least expect them. Why something deep inside you has been whispering, again and again, that a big change is coming. Stay with this. Every single word was placed here for you, at exactly the right moment, because heaven does not send messages carelessly. This one was meant for your eyes, your heart, your life. Dear one, there is something happening right now that you need to know. And you need to know it with your whole heart wide open. Not guarded, not skeptical, not half-present. Because this revelation cannot wait. Cannot be saved for later or understood only after everything has already been decided. What the angels are about to share with you has the power to completely change your life. And maybe, for the very first time, you will understand why your chest has felt so heavy lately, and why certain memories have been coming back stronger in recent days. Why you have been waking up in the middle of the night with a feeling you cannot quite name. Why something keeps pulling you toward reflection, toward stillness, toward a quiet knowing that something is about to shift. Your soulmate is moving, not in the way most people would think. This is not about leaving you behind. This is not about choosing another path away from you. Quite the opposite. This person is finally getting closer to the place your heart has always hoped for. The place you have dreamed about in quiet moments. The place you stopped allowing yourself to fully believe in after too many disappointments. And the angels want you to feel the truth of that all the way down to your soul, because it is real. It is happening, and it is meant for you. Something inside you felt this long before any message was spoken. There was always a part of you, even when you tried to argue it away, even when logic told you to let go, that held on, that refused to believe the story was over. And now you are beginning to understand why. Everything is starting to fall into place. Like puzzle pieces that time has been silently arranging, one by one, in ways you could not always see. Your love is packing their bags, not to run from the past, not to escape something painful, but to move toward a future where you are the destination, where you are the answer to the question their soul has been asking. This change did not begin today. It has been building inside this person's soul. A decision that has grown quietly, little by little, in the background of their daily life, until it became impossible to ignore any longer. This person is letting go of everything that no longer serves a purpose. And the angels are not just talking about material things. They are talking about emotional weight that has been carried too long. Broken promises that were never meant to be kept. Illusions that finally got tired of pretending to be truth. Relationships, habits, and patterns that looked like they might fill the void but never truly could. To people on the outside, this may seem like just another chapter closing, like so many others before it. A life transition, a shift in circumstances, nothing more. But this goes far beyond that. This is a choice rooted in the Spirit. It is a calling that has been growing louder and louder until it could no longer be silenced. It is finally being answered. And even though this process is still happening largely outside of your view, in the quiet corners of someone else's life, it is directly connected to you. Because the destination of this transformation carries your name, your energy, the invisible, unbreakable bond that has tied you both together since the very first moment your paths crossed. Even if it was only through a glance, or even just a thought passing through the mind at an unexpected moment. Now take a moment and truly imagine what it means to pack bags with a full heart. It is not just folding clothes or changing addresses. It is looking back with both gratitude and pain at the chapters that shaped you. It is closing doors on things that left marks on the soul but no longer match what the Spirit is asking for today. It is saying goodbye to an old version of yourself to make room for a new beginning. A beginning shared with someone who has always been woven into the fabric of your becoming. That is the stage your love is in right now. Every step is intentional. Every decision is being made with deep purpose because this person has realized, at last, that there is nothing more valuable in this world than being where the soul truly feels at home. And that sense of home is tied directly, unmistakably to you. Even if there was distance between you, even if you lost touch because of life circumstances, timing, or choices that seemed to pull you apart, the connection was never truly broken. Not even close. There was always something keeping the flame alive in the in-between spaces. Something that brought the memory back in the most unexpected moments. A song, a smell, a place that felt wrong because you were not there. Something that made this person think of you when the world stopped making sense and nothing else brought comfort. And now, more than ever, that invisible thread is pulling them closer, gently but firmly, because the time has come to finally live what has been held back for far too long. It is important that you understand the power of this decision. Changing a life is never easy. Changing direction means changing focus, changing plans, changing pace. And all of that is being done for one purpose only, to move closer to what has always been real. This person does not want to postpone it any longer. They do not want to keep fitting into spaces that no longer feel right. They are choosing to move out of love. And even though that choice is beautiful, it also comes with pain. Because real change always involves both loss and freedom. But here comes the most important part. The part the angels most want you to hear. This change also requires you to be aligned with what is coming. Because it will not matter if this person shows up only to find your heart closed, or worse, distracted. Still waiting for love to prove itself before you dare to believe in it again. True love does not need to be proven. It needs to be recognized. And your role in this is not passive. It is active. It is essential. You are not just the destination, you are also the preparation. You are also the choice. You need to take a real, honest look at what you have been holding inside. What is still taking up space that belongs to something new? What emotions are still keeping you tied to the past? To versions of love that hurt you, to versions of yourself that no longer fit? What resentments, doubts, or quiet fears are you still feeding? even when you tell yourself you have already moved on. Because now is the time to truly prepare your inner space. And the angels are not talking about your physical home. They are talking about your internal home, the sacred space where your feelings live, where your decisions take root, where love will be welcomed or turned away when it finally arrives at your door. If that space is clean and light and ready, then what is coming will find peace in you. It will recognize the welcome and it will stay. Not every feeling needs words to be understood. Sometimes the heart receives answers through sensations that cannot be explained logically, yet they change everything the moment they arrive. That is exactly what happened to your soulmate. In the middle of doubt, in the middle of confusion, in the middle of attempts to walk other paths and build something that looked like a life, a confirmation arrived. One that left no room to run, no argument left to make, no reason to delay any longer. You are the destination. That certainty did not come from advice or outside pressure. It did not come from a conversation or a coincidence. It came from above. It came from that quiet, unshakable place inside the soul where God speaks and the heart knows it is true. When a soul is called to love another so deeply, a spiritual force begins to guide every single step. It protects the connection. It redirects the path. It removes the obstacles that should not be there and softens the ones that must be walked through. And your soulmate has been deeply, profoundly touched by that force. Something inside this person became calm when thinking of you, a peace that could not be manufactured or found anywhere else no matter how many other directions they tried. A truth that revealed itself clearly when all the noise of life finally faded away. And in that moment of clarity, it became undeniable. Ignoring this connection would not be caution or wisdom. It would be like walking away from one's own heart. This person is not coming on impulse. They are not coming because they are lonely or afraid or running out of options. They are coming because something greater, something wiser than fear, something older than doubt, confirmed what had been felt for a very long time. There was a divine answer, a quiet permission from the heavens, a gentle but firm nudge from the universe that gave strength to finally leave behind what no longer made sense and move with full commitment toward what is real. That kind of confirmation is not ordinary. When it arrives, it does not whisper, it settles. It completely transforms the way someone sees love. It lifts the blindfold that fear had placed over their eyes and reignites the truth that fear had tried so hard to silence. The connection you share was not created by chance. It was not the result of timing or circumstance alone. It was written with purpose, long before either of you had the language to describe what you felt. And when heaven confirms that it is time, when the divine says the season has come to bring together what was always meant to be together, nothing can stop it. Not distance, not time, not the doubts that tried to confuse everything and make the path seem impossible. Not the voices, inside or outside, that said it would never work. Because when a soul receives a true spiritual calling, it begins moving with conviction. Not just emotion, not just hope, but the deep, grounded certainty of someone who finally knows exactly where they are supposed to be. And that is exactly what is happening with your soulmate right now. This person has begun to see you differently, not as someone from the past, not as a distant memory wrapped in nostalgia, not as what could have been or what once was. They are seeing you as a present, a living, breathing, real, and beautiful present that was being carefully protected until the right time arrived. And that time is now. Everything that once caused hesitation has started to fade. The excuses have lost their power. The distractions have stopped working. And what remains clear and honest and undeniable is a pure, real, deeply rooted feeling that points in only one direction. toward you. That is why everything has felt so intense inside you lately. Your heart has already picked up on this shift, even before your mind could make sense of it. Because when real love starts approaching, the energy changes in ways you can feel but not always name. Your emotional field begins to prepare itself. Your intuition sharpens. Your mind starts searching for meaning behind everything you are feeling, behind every sign that seems to appear in the most ordinary moments. And the universe, in its quiet and steady way, begins aligning circumstances, removing what should be removed, opening what should be opened, to clear the path for what is already in motion. And before your angels continue this sacred message for you, I want to pause here for just a moment, because so many of you, beautiful, wise, deeply spiritual women, have been writing to me, asking about love, about why the man in your life feels distant, about why, despite everything you've given, you still feel unseen, unappreciated, unchosen. Sweet soul, your angels hear that prayer too. And today they guided me to share something with you. It's called He Worships You. And it is unlike anything I have ever come across. This is not about playing games. This is not about changing who you are. This is about understanding one hidden emotional truth about men. A deep psychological trigger that, when a woman activates it, makes her man see her as absolutely irreplaceable. He becomes devoted, protective, present, like she is the only woman in the world. Women just like you are using this to experience a kind of love they thought they had lost. A love that feels safe, warm, worshipful. You deserve that kind of love. The link is waiting for you in the video description below. Just click it, take a look, and let your heart decide. You are never too old to be truly loved. There is a force that connects two hearts when the love between them is real. A living, breathing, spiritual force that does not dissolve with time or distance or the noise of life. Even without words, even without eye contact, even across years and miles and all the circumstances that tried to stand between you. The connection stays alive, ascends and receives. It reaches, and that is why you have been feeling this person's presence more intensely in recent days. Not because you are imagining things, not because you are holding on to something that has passed, but because something real is shifting and your soul already knows it. This love is trying to move closer, but it does not want to find locked doors. It does not want to arrive and have to knock endlessly on a heart that is too afraid to answer. It is looking for answers in your essence. It is trying to sense whether there is still warmth in you, still truth in the way you show up, still a genuine opening for something that was never truly finished. And all of this searching is being done with the deepest respect, with the patience of someone who truly understands that your timing also matters, but also with the quiet urgency of someone who knows, deep in their soul, that it is long past time to stop waiting and start living what has been postponed for far too long. Have you ever truly stopped to think about what it means for someone to want to live inside your life? Not just pass through it on their way to something else. Not just visit during the good moments and disappear when things get real, but truly inhabit your days, your plans, your quiet evenings, your imperfect mornings, your peace. To show up not just when it is easy, but when it requires something real, that goes far beyond ordinary love. It is a choice to stay, fully, honestly, with both eyes open. And your soulmate is about to make exactly that choice. To leave behind a place where the heart can no longer feel at home and step into the space where it has always found truth. A space that has your name written all over it, in ways only the soul can read. But for that to truly happen, for this love to land the way it is meant to, something may still be missing on your side. You need to prepare the space to receive it. And again, the angels are not talking about the outside. They are not talking about anything that can be decorated or rearranged or made to look better than it feels. They are talking about inner preparation, the kind that happens in the quiet, the kind that asks you to be honest with yourself in ways that are not always comfortable. Your heart is the home being chosen. So what will this person find upon entering? A clean, light, welcoming space. One that says, I have done the work, I have made room, I am ready, or a place still cluttered with resentment, doubt, old grief, and half-open doors to people and patterns that never truly served you? There is a spiritual process unfolding right now that is bigger than either of you. The soul that loves you is pulling away from everything that once distracted it from its true purpose. Old ties are being gently but firmly released. Emotional cycles that kept repeating because they were never truly closed are finally being brought to completion. The past is being left where it belongs because this person has finally deeply understood that you cannot build something real and lasting and beautiful in a space still haunted by what came before. And that is why they are coming to build something completely new, from the ground up, with maturity, with clear eyes, and with a genuine and wholehearted desire to make it work this time. But for that foundation to hold, for this love story to be different from all the ones that came before, you must also let go of what keeps you tethered to the past. The love that is coming cannot compete for space with old resentments that you have been polishing in secret. Cannot settle in among insecurities that whisper you are too much or not enough. It needs to find a heart that is truly available, not perfect, not healed of every scar, but truly available. A place where it can rest without constantly being tested, a space built on trust and the willingness to try honestly and consistently. That kind of preparation begins with a real, gentle, compassionate look inward. What emotions are you still choosing to feed? Not because they serve you, but because they feel familiar. What are you holding on to just out of habit, just because releasing it feels like admitting something you are not ready to admit? What memories do you still replay, like old films, even knowing the story is over and has nothing new to teach you? These are the questions that need honest answers. Not the answers you give when someone else is listening. The quiet, private, true answers that only you know. Because the person coming toward you is not looking for a temporary shelter or a comfortable distraction. They are coming to stay, and that changes everything about what is being asked of you. Everything you have felt up to this moment, every longing, every prayer spoken in the dark, every memory that came back when you least expected it, every lesson that hurt but made you wiser, none of it was wasted. None of it was random. It was all foundation. It was all preparation. Your soulmate is not arriving with empty promises or hopeful words that will fade in a week. They are bringing real transformation, the kind that only comes from someone who has been broken open by the distance, who has tried everything else, and who has finally arrived at the only truth that ever made sense. You. There are simple actions that signal readiness to the universe. When you start treating yourself with the care you want someone else to offer you. When you honestly sort through your emotional life and release what does not belong. When you stop running back to people who never truly chose you. When you begin to make real space for a life where you no longer have to beg for love, but simply receive what is rightfully, divinely yours. All of that matters. Every quiet act of self-love and self-honesty sends a signal. And the universe and the person on their way to you can feel it. Before this message goes deeper into your heart, pause and check the channel name carefully. Some people are stealing and reposting our content, but copied messages do not carry the same positive spiritual energy. Stay connected to the original source, Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. And now, let your angels speak to you. This person is not coming to complete what is missing in you. That is not how this works. They are not your missing piece or your rescue or the answer to every question you have ever had. They are coming to add to what you have already built, to walk beside what you have already become, to bring their wholeness to your wholeness and create something together that neither of you could have built alone. That is why you cannot afford to wait in emptiness and call it readiness. Do the work now. Heal for yourself, not for anyone else. Grow stronger for yourself. Prepare not just to welcome someone into your life, but to live love with the kind of maturity, freedom, and real emotional awareness that makes it last. This calling runs deeper than memory. It is a living connection that pulses stronger when the moment is right, moving through you in ways that touch your dreams, your moods, the way you see beauty in ordinary things you might have overlooked before. You feel drawn to take better care of yourself, to put your life in better order, to settle the things that have gone unresolved for too long, to pull back from the noise and sit with yourself in a way you have been avoiding. This is not imagination. This is not wishful thinking dressed up as spirituality. This is your soul responding to a real signal, a sign that the love meant for you is being divinely guided in your direction, and it is closer than it has ever been before. The soul knows when it is time to come home, and right now your soulmate is hearing that same calling from their side. An inner voice that does not need explanation to be understood but simply awakens courage in the place where courage had gone quiet. A feeling that rises above logic and pushes, gently but persistently, toward the truth. This person has been sensing you in the smallest and most unexpected details, in songs that come on at the right moment, in places that carry a memory, in thoughts that appear without invitation during the middle of an ordinary day. And even when they try to redirect their attention, the connection keeps calling them back to where the heart knows peace, which is where you are. When two souls are bound by love that is truly real, not just compatible or comfortable but real, they never fully lose each other. Time may pass. Life may pull them in different directions. Silence may stretch between them like a season that seems it will never end. But the energy between them stays alive. It waits. And at the moment the divine decides is right, that emotional field reignites, like a flame that never truly died, only waited patiently for the right wind to return. You are in that wind right now. And everything that is happening inside you and around you in this season is part of the preparation for the reunion your hearts were always promised. But for this love to truly blossom the way it is meant to, the ground must be prepared. And that is your part. It is easy to believe that everything will fall into place the moment the other person arrives, that love will handle the rest, that the connection itself will smooth over everything that needs smoothing. But mature love does not survive on wishful thinking or the excitement of reunion alone. It grows in fertile ground. It needs honesty, willingness, and the courage to show up consistently, even when it is inconvenient, even when old fears try to make a comeback. You are that ground. Your inner life is that soil, and what you plant there right now will determine what grows. So take an honest, compassionate look at what you have been carrying. Are there resentments you have kept hidden even from yourself? Old hurts that you have never fully spoken or released? Are you still, in some quiet corner of your heart, hoping to be loved in the same style that once wounded you, because it is the only kind of love you fully believe you deserve? Because this love is coming to heal you, yes, but it cannot be responsible for the wounds you have not yet agreed to face. It cannot be the bandage over something that needs to be truly looked at and released. This person is coming with action, with presence, with real and sustained attention. They will want to be part of your everyday life, Not just the highlight reel, but the ordinary, imperfect, real texture of your days. They will pay attention carefully, not to catch you out, but because they genuinely care. And what they will be watching for is whether you are truly at peace or only performing it. That is why the angels are asking you to show up with honesty, to show that you do not need love to survive, but that you choose this love because you recognize in it something rare and worth protecting. This person does not just want to step into your life and admire it from the doorway. They want to build something inside it with you, something that did not exist before, something that reflects the people you have both become. They want to add to your world in ways that are felt and lasting. And they need to know, they need to believe, that what they find when they arrive is a heart that is not waiting for perfection but is ready to build anyway. With patience, with truth, with the understanding that love is not a destination you arrive at but a direction you choose to keep walking in, together, one day at a time. Pay gentle attention to your reactions in the days and weeks ahead. Be ready for the moments when old fear tries to pull you backward, when the past tries to convince you that this will end the same way everything before it ended. Be patient with yourself in those moments. Do not judge yourself for the fear, but do not let the fear make decisions either. And be patient with this other person too. Remember that they are also arriving with a history, with their own scars, with their own learning curve. What matters is not that you are both without wounds. What matters is that the desire to build something real together is stronger, in both of you, than the impulse to protect yourselves from the risk of it. Your soulmate is coming with hope. And yes, with some fear woven through that hope, because real love always involves vulnerability, and vulnerability always involves the risk of being seen and still chosen. But more than anything else, this person is coming with the willingness to try. Genuinely, fully, with their whole heart. And the very least, they need to find upon arrival is a heart that is not expecting them to be flawless, but is ready to build something honest and new with patience and truth and the kind of grace that only grows through everything you have both already survived. This love is like a home being built from the ground up, solid in its foundation because of everything that had to happen first. But it needs to be filled with warmth, with honest conversation, with respect shown not just in good moments but in hard ones, with the consistent and faithful action that says over and over, I choose this. You will feel it when this person arrives. Something inside you will finally settle, like coming home after a very long journey. Your eyes will meet and time will feel both stopped and perfectly on schedule. But it will not be about going back. It will be a reunion rooted in who you have both become. Your part, the part that belongs entirely to you, is to keep your faith alive. The quiet kind. The kind that stays lit even in the long nights when nothing seems to be moving. Give yourself fully to your healing process with honesty. Be grateful for what had to end, even if it broke something in you. Everything that brought you here helped build the parts of you that are now ready to receive what you deserve. A love that knows what it wants, knows where it belongs, and is finally ready to be lived all the way. This love will arrive. It will touch your life in a way that nothing before it has. It will bring lightness into places that have been heavy for too long. But it will also bring responsibility, the beautiful, sacred kind, because true love is not just something you feel. It is something you build. It is something you show up for. It is a daily, brave, beautiful act of choosing. And you were chosen to live it. Not because you are perfect. Not because you have it all figured out. But because you are finally ready to feel love all the way through. Not at the surface, not with conditions and escape routes pre-planned, but with depth, with surrender, with the trust that says I am ready. I am here. I am not going anywhere. Now take one more deep breath. Because this revelation did not come just to stir your emotions for a moment and then fade. It came to awaken something inside you that has been sleeping, waiting for the right signal to open its eyes. A recognition, a memory of who you are and what you were created for. A strength you forgot you had. Deep down, in the place beneath all the noise and all the hurt and all the long waiting, you have always known this was not just any love. You have always known this connection was different. And now you stand in a moment where everything is being confirmed. Not by wishful thinking, by divine truth. Your soulmate is coming to be close to someone. And that someone is you. This is not a metaphor. This is not a comfort offered to fill a quiet afternoon. It is a truth being prepared in real and specific detail by hands you cannot see, hands that have been guiding your steps, and this person's steps toward the same place the whole time. Something greater is taking care of every part of this. And it will not be long before those carefully guided steps reach your door. That is why you can no longer afford to put off your part. If the promise is alive, and it is, you need to be fully alive within it. Whole, present, clear-eyed about your worth, not waiting to be convinced of it, already standing in it. Do not wait for everything to be perfect to believe. Perfect is not the requirement. Truth is the only thing love has ever asked of you. Be honest with what you feel, even the complicated parts. Be honest about what you want, even the things that scare you to want. Be honest about what you still need to heal, not as a reason to delay love, but as a reason to honor it. Do not pretend you are ready if you still need to grow. But also, do not hide behind past pain as though it exempts you from the possibility of something beautiful. It does not. You deserve this. You have always deserved this. Heaven does not move the invisible world on behalf of something small. It does not send messages like this one just to stir up temporary feeling and leave you wondering. This message reached you with purpose, with a specific, personal, unmistakable purpose, and that purpose is to awaken your full awareness. To remind you that it is not the passing of time that brings love to you, but your genuine readiness to recognize it when it finally stands before you. And now everything is pointing to that moment. The signs are becoming clearer. Your heart has been calling you inward for a reason, and your soulmate is being guided toward you in exactly the direction your heart has been pointing. You have waited for so long. You have been through the kinds of disappointments that teach a person to keep parts of themselves behind locked doors, just to stay safe, just to survive the not knowing. You have had to learn the hard and quiet art of rebuilding yourself from the inside out, without a map, without a guarantee that it would ever matter. But it has mattered. Every single piece of that work has mattered. Because now it is different. Now the season has changed. Now it is no longer about proving you are worth loving or fighting to be chosen. It is about allowing, with open hands and a willing heart, the love that is already yours by divine right to finally enter your life and stay. Your soulmate is not coming to fix your life or rescue you from the parts that are still incomplete. They are coming to walk beside you, truly beside you, not in front of you or behind you, to share what is yours, to add to what you are building, to be a companion and a witness to the life you are creating. But for that kind of walking beside to be possible, the foundation must be strong. And that foundation is you. Your daily choices, your emotional honesty, your willingness to love and be loved without disappearing into it or hiding from it. The love that is coming needs a home, and that home can only only be real and lasting, if you are willing to be a shelter for it, not a storm it has to survive. You were called to receive this message because your soul is ready, even if your mind has doubts, even if your history offers reasons for caution. Because your faith, small and flickering as it may have felt on the hardest days, never fully let the flame of hope die. It held on, kept burning through everything. And that flame is all heaven needed to keep guiding you toward this promise. That is how much it takes. Just the refusal to stop believing entirely. Just the ember that said, even in the dark, maybe this time, maybe still. The next chapter of your life will not be written in a hurry or shadowed by doubt. It will be guided by a deep and settled certainty. The certainty that everything that survived the distance and the silence and the long in-between is more alive right now than it has ever been. That certainty already lives inside of you. You have felt it. You have known it even when you talked yourself out of it. Now you just need to let yourself live inside it without apology. So from this moment forward, stay awake and stay alert. Because heaven will begin confirming everything you have heard today with signs that grow clearer and more undeniable by the day. You will start to notice names, words, songs, situations, and quiet coincidences that feel like messages, that remind you of this promise, that nudge you and say, remember what you were told, because it is real. Do not get distracted by what only shines on the surface. The love that belongs to you has roots that go deep. It is not a sparkle, it is a steady light, and it is coming with its whole heart toward yours. What has been shared here does not end when you finish reading. This is just the beginning. Hold these words close in the coming days. Let them settle into your bones, because you will understand more and more why they arrived when they did, in this season, at this exact moment in your life. And when love finally stands right in front of you and you feel the truth of everything the angels have been saying, remember what you heard. Remember that this was not luck or coincidence. This was the hand of a loving God, moving patiently and faithfully on behalf of your love story. The whole time, you are never alone. Not for one moment, not in one breath. The angels are here, right beside you, surrounding you, walking with you through every ordinary and extraordinary moment of your becoming, sending you strength and light and infinite love so you can keep moving forward, confident, grounded, and radiant with the quiet knowing that you are held. May heaven's blessing rest on you today and every day. May it bring you peace when things feel uncertain, courage when fear tries to make itself at home, and the clearest possible clarity when you need to find your way. You are seen. You are loved. You are never abandoned. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a divine space, a sanctuary for the soul. If you're new to this channel, think of this as your spiritual home. It's a sacred space created intentionally for faith to grow, purpose to be sparked, and God-given destinies to be confirmed and lived out. We are busy building a lively community deeply rooted in the rich soil of God's unconditional love, a place where heaven truly speaks into our lives and deep, lasting change regularly happens. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because God undoubtedly has so much more to reveal and bring about in your unique life journey. You genuinely don't want to miss what the divine is preparing to do next in and through you. Consider making a generous contribution if you feel moved to support our efforts of spreading divine messages. We invite you to visit our Ko-Fi page. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, or $50, your contribution enables us to continue sharing these profound messages of healing and hope with the world. You can find the link directly in the video description and the pinned comment below. As a special thank you for your kindness, we include the names of our Ko-Fi contributors in our weekly Angels Prayers. We will pray for you by name, asking the angels to help attract love and abundance into your life. Spreading the word is just the beginning of our mission. Hearts are being healed, hope is being renewed, and souls are being guided back to the light. Your support helps us realize our shared goal of making a positive impact. Your generosity, no matter how small, is what keeps our community thriving and bringing people together in love on this sacred journey. We are all interconnected, and we will rise as one. By uniting, we can conquer this. Let us wholeheartedly embrace the abundance that lies ahead. Amen.